The housing process for next year will resemble Harry Potter.
A new study finds marijuana is becoming more popular than cigarettes.
Those students not
Hello and welcome to QUTV News This Week. I'm Alexa Lowe.
And I'm Taylor King. Q announced a new housing system for the incoming 2020 students and transfers. This fall, new students will be assigned to an individual house. There will be 7 individual houses. Each house will be named after important figures in the Quincy and Franciscan community. The house system is designed to transform the student experience.
The idea behind the house system is that every student who comes to Quincy University is going to be connected closely to a group of other students. They will have that connection in common, and we know that when people are connected to one another, they are able to do better academically and socially at the university.
For first-year students, their house will correspond to the hall floor where they live. They will remain a member of the same house throughout their time at QU. The Quest Center is participating in November Career Development Month. They kicked off the month with a resume workshop this past Monday. Today, a First Impressions Dress for Success workshop was held with Dr. McGee. Tomorrow, an interview workshop will be held in the Student Success Center big room from noon to 1 p.m. Students can register through the career development email sent out by Kristen Leeson.
Alpha Omicron Pi sorority is hosting a male beauty pageant. They're asking students and the general public to join. The cost is $2 for QU students and $5 for the general public. All proceeds benefit the National Arthritis Foundation. The event is on November 15th at 5 p.m. in the Hawk's Nest. AOPI is expecting an ironic and hilarious pageant. A new study shows that your heart health could be in danger.
It will leave you restless when we come back.
Hi, I'm Adam Rogan, and I'm a senior at Quincy University, and I'm a master chef. I'm about to make you scrambled eggs. Eggs are a cheap way to get full fast, and it's something quick and easy to make, and it's also really good. I'm going to be cutting up some turkey, spinach, and putting shredded cheese on the eggs. I think people should cook because it's a really fun thing to learn, and you can learn it from basically anywhere, from cookbooks to online to TV shows, and it's just a really fun thing to do once you get the hang of it. After you mix all the ingredients together, you can put them in the pan with some heated olive oil. When the eggs are done, you'll know by them getting nice and fluffy. And that's how you make scrambled eggs.
Soccer is a physically demanding sport that often results in a tie. Student life comes with its own demands, and often it feels like the losses outnumber the wins. Sometimes you just need someone to listen. It's comforting to know our Quincy team extends beyond the field.
Are focused around figuring out what we want to do. Here at Quincy University, we can help you find what you want to do. Just take a break and do what you love.
Sleep is an essential part of our lives and our body's ability to recharge and repair itself.
Those who struggle to get a good night's sleep could be at risk of some serious illnesses down the road. Meredith Wood has more in today's Health Minute.
If you suffer from insomnia, you may be at risk for more than just being tired. According to a study published in the Journal of Neurology, adults who have insomnia may be more likely to have a stroke or heart attack. Researchers quizzed nearly 500,000 people in China on the symptoms of insomnia: trouble falling asleep or staying asleep, waking up early in the morning and not being able to fall back asleep, trouble staying focused because of a lack of sleep. 10 years later, researchers checked their cardiovascular health. Those that self-reported all 3 symptoms were found to be 22% more likely to have coronary artery disease and 10% more likely to have a stroke, compared to participants who didn't suffer from insomnia. Even those in the study who reported only suffering from one of the 3 insomnia symptoms were still more likely to suffer from cardiovascular disease. Doctors are uncertain as to the exact link, but stress getting enough rest is essential in the fight to stay healthy. For today's Health Minute, I'm Meredith Wood.
Making sure that you are getting your 7 to 8 hours of sleep is important, especially for athletes and QU students who have a full day of classes and work. College students are putting down cigarettes in favor of joints. A new study found marijuana usage is growing among young adults. Researchers looked at data from 2002 to 2016 to identify trends in smoking. Marijuana increased in popularity among 18 to 20-year-olds in college by nearly 8%. By 2016, about 40% of young adults admitted to using the drug within the past year. The study did not specify how those students were consuming pot. The research found students weren't just more likely to use marijuana, they were doing so exclusively and ditching tobacco. The study can be found in Monday's edition of the American Academy of Pediatrics Journal.
The 2 witnesses already spoke in closed doors, are now being heard for the first time by the public.
Democrats will shape their questioning to line up their case for impeachment, while Republicans will try to lay out an argument against it.
This is the first in a series of public hearings the committee will be holding as part of the House's impeachment inquiry.
The impeachment inquiry coming out from behind closed doors.
The questions presented by this impeachment inquiry are whether President Trump sought to exploit that ally's vulnerability and invite Ukraine's interference in our elections.
Democrats will kick off this next phase with the public testimony of Bill Taylor, the top U.S. diplomat in Ukraine.
It was becoming clear to me that the meeting President Zelensky wanted was conditioned on the investigations of Burisma and alleged Ukrainian interference in the 2016 U.S. elections.
And George Kent, a State Department official who oversees U.S. policy in Ukraine.
Over the course of 2018 and 2019, I became increasingly aware of an effort by Rudy Giuliani and others to run a campaign to smear Ambassador Yovanovitch and other officials at the U.S. Embassy in Kyiv.
Republicans, per a memo circulated to the caucus, will argue that the summary of the July 25th phone call that prompted the whistleblower complaint at the core of the impeachment inquiry doesn't show pressure, that both leaders have said there was no pressure, and that Ukraine's government wasn't aware there was a hold on aid on July 25th. They're also likely to argue that Taylor and Kent don't offer a first-hand direct account of the president's conversation or intent. On Capitol Hill, I'm Karen Kafa.
The hearing will be ongoing for the rest of the week. The snow we got Sunday night and Monday morning is sticking around a little longer. Students are experiencing the cold temperatures for the first time this year. Students that need coats, hats, gloves, or anything to keep them warm during the winter can go down to the Student Success Center to grab anything they need.
With fall cut short, are we going to see a snow day maybe a little bit sooner than we expected?
I know I could sure use a day off. Jess Abrego will be with us next for our weekend forecast.
My major here at Quincy is exercise science, human performance, and basically that is going to set me up to get certified in strength and conditioning and personal training. So ultimately what I want to do after college is put my personal training career off to the side and join the military. For this upcoming summer, I have the opportunity to join the platoon leaders course. And basically what this is for the Marine Corps, it is Officer Candidate School. It's a 10-week program in Quantico, Virginia. And if I get accepted, I leave on June 1st and I will train there for 10 weeks up until August 10th. My initial physical standards, and that consists of a 3-mile timed run, 2 minutes to perform as many pull-ups as I can, and 2 minutes to perform as many sit-ups as I can.
I was not ready for it to be so cold out these past couple days.
No, not at all. But with the hot summer, I was expecting it to be a bitter cold winter. It's kind of usually how that works out. But you can tell us more about that.
I figured it would be a slower transition from one to the other, but it was fall one day, and then we woke up the next morning, and I looked out my window and said, pump the brakes. It was fall yesterday, and now it is full-blown winter. Where did fall go? But I can head on over to the Weather Center, and I can give you a more in-depth look at what we can expect for the next couple days starting into next week. As you have seen, we have experienced maybe the first round of winter and snow, but as we start looking into the next couple of days, you are going to see that we are going to be sitting at 16 degrees today, and then the normal temperature is about 53 degrees. The record high was 77 degrees. If it was 77, I'd be perfectly fine with that, but the lowest temperature is actually 6 degrees. So we're luckily not sitting in those single digits because that would be a little too cold for my liking quite yet. It's still November. We haven't quite hit December. As we start getting into today, our high for today is 38 degrees, and the sun is going to be popping in and out for the rest of the afternoon. As we start getting into this evening, we're going to be going all the way down to 25 degrees. And then as we start getting into Thursday, it is actually going to be 35. So for the next couple of days, we'll be sitting around the 30-degree mark and down into the 20s as we get into evening. As we get into this weekend, Friday is going to be 44 degrees, so we go up a little bit. Not a ton to 77, but we do go up a little bit in temperature, and then it goes back down to 32 that evening. As we get into Saturday, if you're going to be out for the football game, you won't need your heavy jackets, hopefully, but maybe you will. And that will be 44 degrees with the sun again kind of popping in and out behind the clouds. As we start getting into the rest of the week, Thursday and into Monday, you're going to be sitting in about the 40s. Then as we get into the start of next week, you're going to be going all the way back up into the 50s. So we had winter for those couple of days this week, and then hopefully we will see this again when it starts getting back into that 50-degree mark. I was out for a walk right before winter hit with my camera, and luckily got some nice fall pictures before it went full-blown winter on us. So I'm hoping maybe we can start seeing some more fall colors again, and fall will maybe come back for a little bit until it officially decides to stay winter. But hopefully we kind of get a more consistent weather here for the next couple of days and into the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, I sure hope so. Those are great pictures, by the way. Can't wait to see what you do for the winter pictures, but you got a snapshot of our 0.2 seconds of fall. So
yes. Yeah, I didn't realize you were a photographer. Those are really good.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jess. The men's basketball team won a thriller in their first regular season game.
And one basketball player's journey back from a season-ending injury. Shane Holsey joins us next.
College shouldn't be as hard as understanding fine art. Use the resources here at Quincy University. We're here to help.
Finding your passion is easy at Quincy University. Whether you're pursuing a bachelor's degree or looking to go even further, at QU, your professional and academic future is bright. 40 undergrad programs include moments that become experiences, connections that become careers, and relationships that become lifelong support. We want you here. That's why we work hard to ensure that a Quincy University education is affordable. Let us help you put together a plan. Visit discover.quincy.edu to get started.
Sports Director Shane Holsey.
Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but this whole cold weather, snow thing, not really digging it just yet.
No, it's not for me, but winter is here, so I think we might want to get used to it.
Yeah, but luckily, all the teams that are still playing, they're going to be inside, except for the football team. One more game this weekend. But other than that, the rest of the teams are going to be inside. And one of those teams that was inside, the QU men's basketball team, and boy, did they have an exciting start to their season. The Hawks tipped off their regular season in the GMAC GOVC Challenge in Findlay, Ohio over the weekend. Their first game of the weekend last Friday against Cedarville, an instant classic. The Hawks outlasted the Yellow Jackets to win 112-104 in triple overtime. Yeah, triple overtime. Unfortunately, we can't get highlights from that game, but just know we have an early candidate for Game of the Year. Tanner Stuckman led the way with 28 points, and Trent Champagne scored 7 points in the third overtime to help lift the Hawks over the Yellow Jackets to an 8-point victory. Now, 27 of those 112 points came from point guard Austin Downing. His 2018-19 season was cut short after just 5 games. His journey back to full health is a true testament of his character and work ethic. I chatted with Downing and QU head coach Ryan Hellenthal about what Downing calls the worst injury of his career.
January 14th, 2019. This date will be etched in Austin Downing's mind forever. That's because this is the date he underwent surgery to repair a torn labrum in his left shoulder.
I first started noticing some pain towards the middle of preseason in my shoulder, probably around like right here. I didn't know what it was. I would feel some moving every time I move it.
Then one day at practice, it gave on him.
I was just fighting through a screen, and then it popped out, and it was just a pain that I hadn't felt previously before.
After playing just 5 games, Downing's season was over. He may have only played about 20% of the season, but Downing's impact wasn't lost on head coach Ryan Hellenthal.
He was definitely the heart and soul of our group, even coming off the bench for most of those 5 games. And when he went down, we really lost our source of leadership for this group, and he was kind of the energizer. He got that team going, and we played our best basketball last year, early in the year, while he was in the lineup.
So while his teammates took the court, Downing took to his recovery. After the surgery, he wore a sling for a little over a month. After getting the sling removed, Downing started doing exercises to get the motion and strength back in his shoulder. He was cleared to start dribbling and shooting again on March 19th. And then, on July 16th, 6 months and 2 days after his surgery, he was fully cleared.
As weeks went by, we kind of just played it by ear. We really weren't like, oh, we're going to do this for 2 weeks, this for 2 weeks. It was just kind of how I felt. I think I just took it one day at a time, and I honestly just let everything fall into place.
Even while he was out, his teammates still supported him, and he still supported his teammates.
I was trying to be there for them as much as I could still, just with, coming to practice every day. I didn't really travel because I was, really slinged up and on a lot of meds, so I really didn't travel much, but I watched them every game online and texted them afterwards, and I talked to them at practice still, and, it just was, they were there for me and I was there for them.
It's been a long road.
I feel way better than I ever have, mentally, physically. I think everything that happened this past year has just taught me a lot, and I'm ready to grow from it. So.
But Austin Downing is back, and most importantly, healthy.
Downing was able to take a medical red shirt last season, so he still has 2 more years of eligibility, including this year. Downing and the Hawks were back in action Saturday against 17th-ranked Findlay. The Hawks trailed by as many as 16 in the first half, but they came back to get within a possession multiple times in the second half. The Hawks even tied the game at 69 with less than 7 minutes left, but they could never get the go-ahead bucket, and the Oilers pulled away to a 13-point win. Tanner Stuckman led the Hawks again with 18 points, and Adam Moore scored 15 points in 12 minutes off the bench, going 5 for 5 from three-point land. The women's basketball team opened their season in the Midwest Regional Crossover Saturday and Sunday. On Saturday, the Hawks dropped a heartbreaker to Ursuline in the final seconds. The Hawks trailed by 16 after the first quarter and 10 after the fourth quarter, and they came back to take the lead in the fourth quarter, but a last-second shot by Julia Cardwell was the backbreaker and a 2-point loss for the Hawks. Another comeback attempt fell short for the Hawks on Sunday as they dropped a matchup to former GOVC foe Wisconsin Parkside by 7 points. The Hawks fell behind by as many as 20 in the second half and couldn't get any closer than that 7-point deficit. 5 Hawks scored in double digits, and freshman Lainey Lance led the way with 17 points. Mark Hager announced last Thursday he is resigning as the QU women's soccer coach to pursue other coaching opportunities. Hager compiled a 16-16-3 record in 2 seasons manning the Hawks sidelines. Vice President for Intercollegiate Athletics Marty Bell announced that a national search for QU's next women's soccer coach will begin immediately. In other QU sports, Gary Bass's football squad hit the road Saturday to take on McKendree. The Hawks dug themselves a 34-0 hole they couldn't crawl out of. Quarterback Andrew Runn threw for 367 yards and 4 touchdowns, but it was too little too late for the Hawks. Now, the Hawks' chances at a winning season are gone, but they still have a chance to improve their win total from last season if they can beat William Jewell in their final game this Saturday. And Runn needs just 37 passing yards in that game to break the single-season QU record set by Robbie Kelly just a few years ago in 2016. If Rundy can throw for 335 yards, which he's done 3 times in the last 4 weeks, he'll be the first Hawks quarterback to throw for 3,000 yards in a season. The women's volleyball team made the trek to Runn's hometown, the Gateway City, to take on Umsel and Lindenwood over the weekend. On Friday, the Hawks fell to the 23rd-ranked Tritons in straight sets. Then the Hawks took care of business on Saturday, beating the Lions in 4 sets. The Hawks improved to 14-16, 6-7 in GLVC play. So the Hawks come into the final weekend of the season, 1 game out of a playoff spot. They play a couple teams very close to them in the standings. Southern Indiana, a game ahead of them. They're tied with McKendree, 1 game out of that final playoff spot. So Miss King and the Hawks will look for a couple wins to try to crash the postseason party. Taylor, how are you feeling about these 2 games?
So we're going to have to win these 2 games, but also get some help from Springfield, which they're going to have to lose their 2 games, which is going to be a little bit tough because they do play Rockhurst, but they also play William Jewell. So it's just going to be a toss-up, so we'll see. We're going to hope for the best, but hopefully we'll get to go.
Control your own destiny, win those 2 games, and let the rest take care of itself.
Yep.
All right, hopefully we'll be talking about you next week.
Awesome.
Thank you, Shane.
Yep.
With all this talk about Christmas, everyone seems to be starting early this year.
In New York, they are getting into the Christmas spirit next.
To make it your cue for you to do what you love.
Finding your passion is easy at Quincy University. Whether you're pursuing a bachelor's degree or looking to go even further, at QU, your professional and academic future is bright. 40 undergrad programs include moments that become experiences, connections that become careers, and relationships that become lifelong support. We want you here. That's why we work hard to ensure that a Quincy University education is affordable. Let us help you put together a plan. Visit discover.quincy.edu to get started.
I'm from Chicago, Illinois. I lost my mother and brother at the age of 13, which is so hard for a 13-year-old. I never let their death be like a burden to me, but more so of a motivation, because anything that I do from now is for them. I brought my GPA back up to where it should be. Myself and other African Americans or blacks, we all feel that, oh, the criminal justice system is like rigged against us. And that's also kind of like what motivates me to go into forensic psychology. So I'm a fan of Law and Order, SVU, and with that, that's what kind of like persuaded me or guided me to go into that field.
This year's Rockefeller Center Christmas tree was set up in Manhattan Saturday ahead of the annual tree lighting ceremony. It's a Norway spruce that was cut down on Thursday from a community in New York. The 77-foot, 14-ton tree was brought to the Big Apple on a trailer. It was then untied and raised with a crane Saturday onto its new home on the Center Plaza. The 87th Rockefeller Center Christmas tree lighting takes place December 4th.
Now, how fitting is it? The Rockefeller tree goes up over the weekend. 2 days later, here, there's snow on the ground. White Christmas?
I think it's a little bit too soon to still have those Christmas decorations up. We still have Thanksgiving to get through, but to each their own.
One holiday at a time, people.
Yep, that is true. But I'm used to white Christmases, so that's not too unusual for me, but you know, you still like to see snow on Christmas. Doesn't feel right without it.
I'm with Jess. I think we need to chill until Thanksgiving, and then we can go, you know, look at Christmas decorations and everything but that.
Yeah, quite literally chill. So, happy Hello Thanksmas, everybody.
All right, well, that's all we have time for today. Just one more show before we head on Thanksgiving break. For Jess, Taylor, and Shane, I'm Alexa. Have a great rest of your week and stay warm. We'll see you next week.